I had to go fetch milk fresh from a cow when I was a kid. My mother would turn some of it into yogurt. We'd add fresh fruit or a little jam. What a treat! Today we're bringing that back. 2 types of yogurt from scratch. You'll be surprised how easy and inexpensive this is. Best of all, it only takes about 10 minutes of your active time. Und los! Bulgarian yogurt, the original. Sharp and relatively thin. And Greek yogurt, which really is just a yogurt variety that someone in the Middle East decided to strain. We will cover both, but first, the original. The ingredient list for real yogurt is embarrassingly short. Milk and a starter, or a few healthy ants. More about that later. For the first recipe, 1 quart of milk. Store-bought is fine, unless of course you have a cow in your backyard. Raw milk works great too, it's what I grew up on. UHT milk, you know, the shelf-stable stuff you find at dollar store, don't do that. The proteins are damaged beyond repair. You can use skim milk, but you will have to pay for that with less flavor. Remember, fat is flavor. Your starter is either 1 gram of freeze-dried yogurt starter. There's different varieties. I've got a Bulgarian, a Greek, and this is a Quark starter, which is an entirely different episode because that's a fermented cheese. Alternative is 2 tablespoons of an active culture yogurt, either store-bought or from your last batch. This is from my last batch. I'll show you an experiment with a store-bought yogurt a little later. Freeze-dried cultures are consistent and predictable. There are specific strains, and that's what a professional would use. The live yogurt culture is what's been done for thousands of years. The last batch starts the new one. We will come back to that age-old habit in the end because it's important and it's a money saver. Step 1, we heat the milk to between 180 and 190 Fahrenheit. That's about 83 to 88 Celsius. First, we kill any stray bacteria in there. We don't want any competitors to our bacteria. Second, we partially denature the whey proteins. They will reconnect during the fermentation process and give it texture. Without this step, you get something fairly thin and sad. You will see steam and small bubbles forming. You do not want a rolling boil. Keep it between 180 and 190 and hold it there for a minute. For the quick science, think of the proteins like a tangled ball of strings. The heat unravels them and the bacteria later on will recombine them. That is your yogurt. I don't think we need to go any deeper than that. Around 180, a skin will form. That's just denatured proteins. It doesn't hurt the yogurt, but it's kind of unsightly, and if it bothers you, just remove it. What I'm usually doing is I just eat it. Now we have to cool it. Target temperature is 110 Fahrenheit or around 43 Celsius. That's the operating window for our bacteria. If you go over 120, you kill them. If you go below 90, they get sluggish and stop working properly. My mother just let this sit on the counter and checked it occasionally. Of course, these days we have modern conveniences, which means we can make an ice bath to speed things up. Stack ice around it. The ice bath, of course, is for the impatient. I usually just wait for it to cool down. If I forget and it happens to cool all the way down to room temperature, not a big deal. Once you start incubating it, it will heat up again. All you have to do is just incubate it for a little longer. Stir it gently as it cools because, of course, it only cools on the outside. You don't want to introduce any bubbles, so do this gently. There might be another skin forming again. You know what to do with that. You want to pull this out of the ice bath at 110. Transfer it into your fermentation vessel if you haven't done so already. Traditional would be some kind of crock pot with a plate on top. A glass vessel is perfectly fine. Anything that retains heat and seals reasonably well. I love the mason jars with a slightly loose lid, and I'll show you why these are special in a minute. Where's this gonna sit for the next 6 to 12 hours? You need a warm place with around 110 degrees, so your living room is probably not an option. An oven with the lights on will usually work. Leave the oven light on for a couple of hours and then check with a thermometer. you want to make sure it stays below 115. If that's not an option and you don't want to go grandma's way, which was a lot of blankets and maybe a cooler, there's a little DIY option. A cardboard box and a light. Place the light inside the cardboard box, plug it in, put your jar inside and close. 40-watt light bulb will usually do the trick. Check the temperature first, just like with your oven. If you're using that Amazon shipping box, make sure the light does not touch the cardboard anyway. That might be a fire hazard. You don't want to light your house on fire. Of course, that light bulb has to be an incandescent light bulb, not a LED. They don't get hot enough. This is actually an appliance light bulb, which are still incandescent light bulbs. Use pretty much anything that can keep this jar at 110 degrees for the next 6 to 12 hours. The yogurt maker is the modern solution, perfectly consistent every time. I will not tell you not to use it. My mother had this ugly thing back in the 70s and it already worked. It's a proven method, but it's a single-use appliance and I try to avoid these, particularly when the other methods cost next to nothing. Aside from that, here is the reason why I like mason jars. If you are the proud owner of a sous vide stick, set it to 110, fill the water to the right level, try this with an empty jar, close the lid and submerge the jar in it. It's okay when the lid isn't underwater, just get close to it. This works brilliantly because yogurt fermentation produces almost no gases whatsoever. All the bacteria effort goes into the lactic acid. So if you need a justification to buy one of these used sous vide sticks on eBay, here it is. Plus, it helps make great sausages. There's a video for that too. 6 hours will give you a mild, slightly tangy yogurt. 12 hours will get you a sharp and strongly flavored version. After the incubation, the yogurt should be visibly set. It will jiggle slightly as one mass, but it will not slosh around like a liquid. If it hasn't set after 8 to 12 hours, your temperature was either way too high, way too low, or your starter wasn't viable. If it fails to set, simply reheat it to 110, re-inoculate it with a fresh starter, and try again. It's still perfectly good milk, don't throw it out. Into the refrigerator now. At least a couple of hours, preferably overnight. The cold pretty much stops the fermentation and allows the proteins to settle. What comes out of the fridge is notably thicker and cleaner in flavor than what goes in. This is the finished Bulgarian yogurt. We will sample it in a minute, but first, a word about the ants. Ancient yogurt methods in Bulgaria, Turkey and some other Middle Eastern countries involve tossing a few healthy red ants into your cooked milk. It works. It produces yogurt. There is a recent study that confirms this. Certain species of ants have the right bacteria, enzymes and formic acid on them to start a yogurt fermentation. A word of caution, not every ant works and ants can carry parasites you don't want to meet. So play it safe and use a regular starter. I'm just telling you this in case you're the last human without yogurt after the apocalypse. Greek yogurt. Sounds ancient and it is. But what most people call Greek yogurt today is a marketing exercise. See, Greek yogurt is a marketing term that was invented by the company Vide. Vide Total was the first commercially available strained yogurt. Greek people don't call it Greek yogurt, they simply call it strained yogurt. So technically any yogurt can become a Greek yogurt simply by straining it and thus removing a lot of the whey. That has been done from Greece to Iran and beyond for a very long time, mostly for better preservation and creamier texture. Portability also was a consideration because mostly nomadic people strained yogurt. Drink the whey, bring the yogurt on the trip at half the weight. That said, I'm using a Greek yogurt starter culture, which is a slightly different bacteria mix. It gives you a milder aroma and a firmer texture. Now, Greek yogurt, same incubation rules. 8 to 12 hours, same procedure as the Bulgarian yogurt or any other yogurt for that matter. Straining. You need a fine weave fabric. A couple layers of cheesecloth is usually the go-to. A clean kitchen towel works, a t-shirt works too. One of those old cloth diapers, unused preferably. Anything tightly woven that's a natural fiber that you can suspend over a bowl. What you don't use is paper towels. They usually collapse and clog up. Same for coffee filters. Use the cloth. I have a fine mesh sieve beneath it or a colander. And then you need something to catch the drippings. Pour in your yogurt and watch it strain. After like half an hour, give it a little wiggle, because there might be some extra liquid on the top and you want to wiggle that down, although it will drain on its own over time. Cover lightly and stick it into the fridge. 2 to 3 hours will give you a classic Greek yogurt. 4 hours will give you a very thick Greek yogurt. 6 hours approaches labne, which is kind of a yogurt cheese. And if you do it like me, leave it in the fridge overnight and have a very long nap. This is what happens. It's so firm, the spoon doesn't even move anymore. It has the consistency of cream cheese. What drips out is the whey. Do not discard it. It contains proteins, lactose and lactic acid. You can use it in a bread dough instead of water or buttermilk. It's not waste. It's even acidic enough to marinate a nice chicken. No buttermilk needed. Before you eat any of this, set aside a couple tablespoons of it. Put them in a small jar. Close it and put it in your fridge. If you don't intend to make more yogurt within the next week or so, just freeze it. It will last for about 3 months in a freezer. Every batch you make starts the next one. This is how yogurt has been propagated for centuries. It's essentially like a sourdough starter. Over the years, it gets used to your kitchen, to your milk, to your temperature. It becomes yours. Here's the experiment I promised. I found this basic yogurt for $2.99 on sale. I read the label and to my surprise, it has very few additives. Most of them are simply vitamins. The only thickener in it is pectin, which is a natural thickener derived from fruits. Even more surprising was that it lists a bunch of active cultures. So I was curious and tried to find out. I used 2 tablespoons of this to inoculate a jar full of milk, and what do you know? It turned out really nice. It's a good yogurt. If you stir it up, you get rid of the whey. It's going to be creamy in texture. It tastes excellent, actually pretty much like this one. No surprise there. So they didn't lie about the active cultures, and here is your way if you don't want to invest in a freeze-dried culture. The Bulgarian first. This is what yogurt is supposed to look like. Slightly off-white, clean surface, maybe a bit of pooled whey around. Just stir it in as I did. Sharp, tangy, slightly loose from a consistency point of view. The acidity is there, perfectly suited for ayran. That's that Middle Eastern yogurt drink, essentially watered down yogurt with salt, ideal for summer. This yogurt is a little thinner than what you find in a supermarket. One reason is the culture, it simply comes thinner. The other reason is the absence of any thickeners. You can always strain it for an hour to get the texture you want. Now the Greek yogurt, noticeably firmer. Of course, we strained it. The flavor from the strain I've been using is milder, a little less acidic, and a little more creamy. This is the correct texture for a Greek yogurt. 2 yogurts, 1 process, a couple of hours of patience. This is not difficult, and you can do it on a whim if you have milk and a starter in your fridge. You'll love it even more that your kids can have all the yogurt they want for the cost of the milk and whatever flavoring you want to put in there. The culture keeps going as long as you do, or as my wife likes to put it, great, we have another jar sitting around. Stop paying someone else to culture your milk. Do it yourself for pennies on the dollar.